Welcome into Walk the Line. Well, I'm your host, OG Chris Murray, to give you my Dynasty Mad League voting divisional round playoff picks. Man, the playoff time in the DML again, man, and it has been everything what we hoped it to be, pure electrifying. Before we dive into these divisional round picks, let's recap the wild card round, man, where it was a lot of action.
First up, we have tight work. And those Miami Dolphins versus the big homie and those Cincinnati Bengals. This right here, man, from the score was a total defensive slugfest. Both guys came out. Defense was balling out. Wasn't trying to give up an inch of nothing. But Tyreek was able to overcome adversity and get a 10-7 victory over those Cincinnati Bengals, getting the W going into the divisional round. Next up, we had King Vitamin and the LA Rams versus Matty Ice and those Philadelphia Eagles. In this matchup, there was nothing cool about this Philadelphia Eagles offense. The LA Rams didn't have a lick of nothing that could slow down this Philadelphia Eagles offense. They was passing the ball well, ripping that secondary up out there in LA. They was running the rock well. There was nothing that this Philadelphia Eagles offense could not have done wrong in this matchup, getting a dominating 31-10 victory over the LA Rams heading into the divisional round. Next up, we had Chef Scooper and the Arizona Cardinals versus the Bucs and the Chicago Bears. This right here, man, was another well-played game. It was neck to neck throughout the whole game, but Chef Scooper was able to cause crucial turnovers and, execute off those turnovers and stuck to his game plan throughout the whole game. No matter how the game was going, he stuck to his game plan, that he prepped for before this matchup, and he came out and he executed it well, not only in hostile territory out there in Chicago, which is always a tough place to play, not going up against a top tier user with the Bucs. He was able to come out with the victory 19-13 over the Chicago Bears going into the divisional round. Next up, we had the defending champs Andy and those LA Chargers versus Tone Dog and the Oakland Raiders. This right here was the flat out, every time these guys play each other, it's always what the people are expecting. High power game. Both guys already played each other twice this season, so this game right here was flat out, you had to figure out to bring and put together a game plan that they both haven't seen, which is hard because they already played each other twice, but in this matchup, Andy was able to show why he's the defending champ. He was able to come out and play a solid game on the defensive side of the ball, causing 4 turnovers, and on the offense side of the ball, just doing just enough to squeak out with a 14-0 victory over Tone and those Oakland Raiders. That's the recap for the wild card round. Now, let's dive into these golden picks for the divisional round. First up on the list, we have Andy and the defending Los Angeles Chargers versus Expert and the Jacksonville Jaguars. All right, this right here, man, is going to be potentially who represents the AFC. This is right here is going to be oh my God, it's going to be a crazy game right here. It's going to be a crazy game. We got two top 10 users in the DML facing off neck to neck in this matchup. All right, defense got the job done last week for the LA Chargers. It was able to cause 4 interceptions. It was able to get after the quarterback, and it was able to basically pretty much control the game and slow down that high-powered Oakland offense. They're going to have to figure out how to carry that same exact motivation, that same exact momentum into this matchup facing these Jacksonville Jaguars at home. Now, the plus about this game that's pretty much is tipping the meter a little bit. Not that much, but a little bit in the favor of the LA Chargers is the Jacksonville Jaguars are still without Dak Prescott, and Blake Bortles will be starting this game. And what we learned in the past is Blake Bortles in crucial moments can't figure out how to take care of the ball. So, that's something right there that could tip the meter a little bit LA's way. But, Andy, you're going to have to figure out how to take Austin Seferian-Jenkins out of this game and make him a non-factor. He's been tearing up the DML all year long, finishing with a dominating 1,221 receiving yards, and 14 touchdowns at the tight end position. You're going to have to figure out how to eliminate him from this game to plan on getting the victory over these Jacksonville Jaguars at home. Now, let's switch gears. Expert. You're entering this matchup without Dak. You know, he's sidelined, still dealing with that foot fracture injury. You know, Blake Bortles is going to be the starter quarterback in this matchup. I'm expecting a heavy workload from Leonard Fournette in this game. You know, getting the running game going. You know, putting Blake Bortles in manageable situations. And not depending on him to come out and win the game for them. In an interview this week, Jalen Ramsey was asked what he thought about Keenan Allen. And of course, Jalen Ramsey responded how Jalen Ramsey always responds. He felt like Keenan Allen is overrated. Keep your eyes on this matchup, because this could be a key matchup in this game that can tip the ball either way. You know, but can you blame Jalen Ramsey for making that statement that he made for how this Jacksonville Jaguars defense has been balling out all year long in the DML? They only allow 16 total points and caused 69 turnovers. 69 turnovers. This defense will have to come out with the same mentality in this matchup. Vegas has expert favored by 3 points in this matchup. I think Vegas got this one wrong. If Dak Prescott was there, I'm definitely taking the Jacksonville Jaguars hands down. But I don't trust Blake Bortles at all. You know, and I'm taking the LA Chargers getting the W going into the conference round. Next up, we have Chef Scooper and the Arizona Cardinals versus Sweets 99 with San Francisco 49ers. All right, listen. Great win last week for the Arizona Cardinals. They knocked off a top-tier user in the DML. But this week, they're going to have to put their thinking cap right back on, because they're going up against another top 10 DML user with those San Francisco 49ers. Injury bugs have been tearing the Arizona Cardinals up. But this week, they got a plus. David Johnson was cleared. He was seen practicing with the team and is expected to take on a heavy workload in this matchup. Something that the Arizona Cardinals will have to focus in this matchup is how to slow down this San Francisco 49ers offense. They finished averaging a total of 30 points per game. And this is not an offense where they're just shoving the ball or focusing in on one player. They spread the ball out. So you just cannot come out and focus in on one particular player. You have to focus in on all of them. Sweets 99 knows how to get top production out of all of his guys. So Chef Scooper in this matchup, you're going to have to figure out how to slow down this offense, keep this at a manageable. I say don't want him to go over no more than 20 points if you plan on making this a close game. You cannot afford to get into a shootout with this San Francisco 49ers team, because you don't have enough firepower, in my opinion, to go toe-to-toe. So just manage the game. Protect Geno Smith and don't turn the ball over. And you could probably potentially be there at the finish line come the fourth quarter. Switch gears. The 49ers, man, have been doing exactly what they wanted this season. You know, they have been coming out executing their game plan on the offensive side of the ball and the defensive side of the ball. You know, and this matchup, one thing that should stand out for this San Francisco 49ers team is the passing game. It shouldn't struggle at all, because they're facing a secondary who will be without their superstar cornerback, Patrick Peterson. So we expect a big game from either Marquise Goodwin or Dante Pettis. Both of those guys should be able to get going today. You know, another thing, stick to the script. You know, if it ain't broke, why try to fix it? Take David Johnson out of the game. Eliminate the run. You're going up against Geno Smith, who, besides last week, had no playoff experience. Put him in tough situation. A key player in this game to focus in on is Solomon Thomas. Allow that man to wreak havoc on that quarterback. Tear Geno Smith up. I'm telling you. Let him do that. Unleash the beast. and I guarantee you Geno is going to crumble and turn that ball over in panic. You know, stick to the game plan, stick to the script that you've been doing all season, and I don't see why you shouldn't get a victory, you know, in this matchup. But you have to play focused, because this is an Arizona Cardinals team who you can't sleep on. Vegas has the San Francisco 49ers favorite by 7.5 points. I think Vegas got this one right. I think Patrick Peterson is definitely going to be missed in this matchup, and this is going to be the reason why the Arizona Cardinals take the L in this week's matchup. Next up, we have tight work in the Miami Dolphins versus Rich 215 on those New York Jets. 3 times a charm. You know, these guys already faced off twice this season. Tight work fell 2-0. Has not yet figured out how to beat Rich 215, but something in those first 2 matchups stood out to me. Turnovers. Tight work just couldn't take care of the ball. You know, his quarterback could not take care of the ball, and he dug himself in a hole early, so it forced him to keep constantly passing the ball. Tight work. Listen, let's get back to that tight work football that we know. You have to get your running game going, because once your running game get going, it allows you to operate your offense how you like to move around and do your thing. You're going to have to figure out how, 1, like I just mentioned, get your running game going. 2, take care of the ball. Your defense is coming off of a lights out performance last week. You know, they only allowed 94 total offensive yards and only allowed 1 score. You're going to have to carry that same momentum into this matchup against Rich 215 and these hot New York Jets. Rich 215 and these Jets, man, have, in my eyes, surprised a lot of people this season, because how that roster is shaped up, I don't think no one will have put them in a position where they're at right now. Definitely not getting a first round bye in the playoffs. You know, but stick skills is stick skills, and this New York Jets team, man, is entering this matchup 2-0 versus the Miami Dolphins club. You know, he has the script and the formula already to get this W. You know, but this is the playoffs. You cannot expect the same Miami Dolphins team that you played against in the regular season to be the same teams you're going to play in this matchup. It's the playoffs. Everybody has stepped their game up a notch, and you have to be focused. All year long, rookie running back Horton has shown that he can produce at a high level. In this matchup, you will have to do the same, and will probably have to put up a little bit more to get this W over the Miami Dolphins. Defense has been a code that the Jets have been living by this season, finishing and only allowing 11 points per game, 59 rushing yards per game, causing 51 sacks and 54 turnovers. Defense is always a crucial point in the playoffs. Defense wins championships, and I think that this is going to be a game where that defense is going to have to play lights out football. You know, like I said, this is the playoffs. Every team has to step it up a notch and give a little more even when there's not enough to give. You know, Vegas has Rich 215 favorite by 4.5 points. I think Vegas got this one right. Right now, I don't think that the Miami Dolphins are playing that championship style football, and this should be a close game, but I got Rich taking the W going into the divisional round. Next up, we have Matty Ice and the Philadelphia Eagles versus 85 and the New Orleans Saints. Wow, this right here, man, is going to be a crazy game. I'm telling you, it's going to be a crazy game. We got two top two. I say this is right now. If you're looking at the DML, this is Matty Ice is ranked 3rd and Addy is ranked number 1. You know, so we got 2 of the top 3 users in the DML in this matchup. Both guys already know what has to be done. You know, this is not nothing new. What we've seen from Matty Ice and the Philadelphia Eagles and 85 and the New Orleans Saints. These are 2 guys that every single year are in the run for a banner, but seem to both every single year fall short. You know, these guys went neck to neck in the week 2 matchup the Saints took the victory. Matty Ice, you coming off of a good win last week against the Rams. You know, you was able to shut down Todd Gurley, who was the top running back in the DML, and completely shut down that LA Rams offense. This week, you're going up against a familiar juggernaut that you faced already, and you already know how he gets down. Mr. Alvin, AK-47 Kamara, the DML's MVP. Josh Allen last week came off of a good game. You know, he was able to pass the ball well. Finished with 3 touchdowns, but the number one thing that stood out was 0 turnovers. 0. That right there, he needed that confidence boost. You know, heading into this matchup against the number 1 defense in the DML. He's going to have to scratch that memory of that week 2 loss where he threw 4 interceptions and only was able to throw 1 touchdown. He got to erase that from his memory. Come out and figure out how to put up points against this team. Get your offense going, you know. And you're going to have to figure out, if you plan on being in this game, you're going to have to figure out, you're not going to be able to take this guy out the game. That you're going to have to figure out how to slow down and solve the AK-47 puzzle. You're going to have to figure it out. I'm telling you. You're going to have to force 85's hand and make him beat you with someone else. It's the playoffs. You're going to have to dig deep. This is your Super Bowl. You're all in. You know, you're all in. You're going to have to figure out how to come out and play an all-around, well put together football game. You're going to have to figure it out. You know, you're going to have to play a little dirty, hit hard, pull a jersey. You can't allow this offense to come out and play pretty style offense how they like to play. You're going to have to cause havoc. To switch gears, this New Orleans Saints team, man, and owner 85, this is nothing new. You know, he finished the season 15-1. Could have easily went 16-0, but decided to sit all these starters, which was smart in their Week 17 matchup. Right now on paper and on the field, this is the best, well put together DML team right now. But like I mentioned, this is nothing new that we have seen from these New Orleans Saints. It's definitely nothing new what we have seen from 85. But this year, man, this team simply said from the gate, got unfinished business. You know, we have unfinished business that we're gonna address, and that we plan on finishing it up and cleaning it up this season. You know, they're ranked top 10 in all categories on both sides of the ball, offensively and defensively, and they have the league's MVP, AK-47. You know, who's flat out coming off of, I want to say, one of the best seasons in the DML history, besides the other guy that we're not going to mention. But this guy, man, is flat out been playing lights out football. You faced this team in week 2. You know, he went off for 164 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns. So we're going to expect a heavy dosage of Alvin, AK-47. We know that. But one thing that I think that Eddie's going to have to focus on is the defense. You know, he's going to have to focus on the defense. Keep that Philadelphia Eagles offense contained. Because this game right here is going to go one of 2 ways. It's either going to be a blowout or it's going to be a shootout. As simple as that. And I don't think Eddie wants it to be a shootout. You know, he don't want it to be a shootout. But that defense out there in New Orleans is going to have to continue to play that same top 10, top tier defense that they've been playing week after week after week after week in this matchup. You know, Vegas has the New Orleans Saints favored by 6 points. Wow, this is going to be a good one. I think Vegas got this one wrong. Okay? If Matty Ice can figure out how to put points on the board, slow down AK-47 and force Addy 5's hand to beat him with someone else, which is a tough to-do list. Even though it's short, he can get the victory over the New Orleans Saints going into the conference round, taking the Philadelphia Eagles. Those are my picks for the divisional round. Tune in to the conference round where I'll be giving you, we will recap the divisional round first, and then we will make our go-to picks of who we think will take home the conference championship. Tune in. I'm your host, OG Chris Murray. I'm out.